Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 10 of our Local Global, here with the Canadian Wrestling Coalition. Now, of course, in the last episode, we did a lot. We did quite a lot. It was our first episode as a tiny size company, and of course, we had to essentially sign a lot of new members to our roster. I feel like we've got a lot of good new options that are really going to add something to the company. We've got a couple of jobbers. We got a couple of tag teams. We got a couple of, more senior wrestlers as well. Art Reed being 46 years old. Then we also got Aussie Goldstein, who is our new number one contender for the world title. And like I said, we got Ryan Turner, who's 36, Stan Manor, who's also 36. And like I said, they are part of a tag team. We now have 3 teams because we put together the team of Original Sinner and Wicked Lester. They're now called Doomsday Generation. Pretty fitting name. It was actually a auto name, suggested name by the game. We then have Stan Manor, Ryan Turner, the Rock City Stars, and then finally we got the talented Brett Kyle and Taylor Norton, and they are young and wasted. So we've got a little few tag teams now, which I like. But let's start advancing into the next show. And of course, we already ran one show for this month already. Now, I did a little bit of calculations after that first show, and it looks like if we run this second show and we use Americana, who is our most expensive wrestler, we should hopefully be making about maybe just under $5,000 profit for the month of February. So that's pretty interesting. Now, obviously, if we were only running one show, the popularity gains would probably be less, but we would obviously make probably, I would like to say, about $8,000, maybe a little bit less, maybe $7,500 is probably a better representation of how much money we would make from running one show per month, as we sort of similarly have been doing recently. I think we're expected to make just over $9,000 from our sponsorship money, so we're making a decent amount. A decent amount. We did actually get up to 20 popularity as well in Ontario, so we're essentially only 5 points away from being eligible to go on to WrestleWorld. And of course, I've been harping on about WrestleWorld for most of the series so far, but I feel like it is kind of the true way of us, growing as a company. We could possibly go for a broadcaster of our own, but that's just going to take finances out of the company. And I think WrestleWorld is just the easiest way to go about it. We'll actually make money. We don't have to spend money on a broadcaster. We get coverage in the US as well. It is only very small coverage across both the US and Canada, but it shouldn't matter too much. We're only a small, we're a tiny size company at the moment. Hopefully soon to be a small size company. And, it fits every other company as well, so it shouldn't be any different for us. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this next show, because we've got a pretty good main event. We've got Americana Jr. taking on our boy Aussie Goldstein. And, Goldstein has a decent chance to actually become the world champion. I feel like he's definitely got enough popularity. He's got 39 popularity in Ontario, I think. So that could be enough to make him world champion. And, there is a possibility that we could eventually be losing Americana Jr. because his popularity is in the high 50s at the moment across the US and Canada as well. So it's gonna be touch and go, I think. It's gonna be a bit scary. Our best talent and best worker, as well as our world champion. We could essentially lose him at any time. So we do need to be careful, and maybe it wouldn't be such a bad option for us to give Aussie a world title victory, which he never actually achieved in Canadian Golden Combat. So I think he was a 2-time Canadian champion for CGC, but never won their world title, their top belt. Also, I've been kind of thinking about the Canadian title, which is going to be our sort of mid-card belt. I'm kind of thinking that maybe we don't buy the CGC belt. I'm not sure. I think it's only going to cost us about 10,000. But the thing with it is the prestige is like 49 for a mid-card title. And it seems ridiculous that... Oh, really? Okay. I didn't expect this to be happening. But yeah, Bowden Snoop has apparently been offered a contract with ACPW, which is interesting, considering they didn't sign him before we did. But yeah, Rockin' Ryan Turner has announced a new tour with his band. That's pretty frustrating, because we were starting to use them and really get the tag team division up and running. Gotta say, that's a little bit frustrating. Anyway, I guess we'll have to find some sort of workaround. Anyway, let's get into this event. First one of the episode. Kamikaze once again working for somebody else tonight, and we have an incident with Charlie Corner. However, it is a positive influence, and he helped create a great backstage atmosphere, pulling a great rib on the entire locker room. That's decent. Happy with that. Now, what are we doing? That is the real question. So, first of all, we know the main event. Let's just get that one booked in nice and easy here. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so he's got in the high 50s for most of his popularity for Americana Junior there. It's going to be a 20-minute match, of course. And I think we're going to do that just because I feel like it does make sense. And yeah, I knew he was going to be unhappy, but let's do what we can to sort of ease the transition. Up next, we'll go another tag team match. Let's go for Doomsday Generation and the Rock City Stars. Make it 12 minutes. Let's actually give the victory to the Doomsday Generation. I was going to go Rock City Stars, but I think, you know, with Ryan Turner leaving for tour, could be a bit of a problem for us. Anyway, next match, let's go with Gary Walker and Primetime Jack Pride. I think that could be a good match as well. They actually both have relatively good popularity. Okay, that'll be an interesting match as well. And then I guess we'll finish things off with another tag match. Let's get Art Reed in there. Let's go with... Ooh, it's a tough one. Let's go with Diaz with Art Reed, and then they can take on the team of... Maybe, yeah, we'll just go Young and Wasted, I think. I think that's actually going to be a decent match. Give the victory to Art Reed because he is the senior member of the match. Obviously, can't road agent his own match either. Let's also make that the Work the Crowd match to kick us off. We then need a promo between Americana and Aussie. Let's go both on entertainment. I think that should be pretty good. So we'll chuck that before the main event there. And then I think we want maybe a... Should we just go both of them together? Primetime Jack Pride and Gary Walker? And just do a similar thing for their angle as well? Because they are versing each other. I think that actually looks pretty good. I like that show. We do need a storytelling match. Let's make the actual tag team match storytelling. I think I actually want to make the loser Ryan Turner as well. So there's going to be a little bit of a story behind that. Okay, I think we're good. Let's run the show. All right, so we start off with a 44 rated match. Actually, pretty good. Very surprising. I didn't think it would be that good. We have Art Reed and James Diaz defeating Young and Wasted in 12:27, when we had Art Reed submit Taylor Norton with a dreadlock, as I had a bit of a voice crack there. Yeah, it's a good match. It's a very good match. Again, tag team specialist bonus for Young and Wasted, and just a solid opening match, really working the crowd well. All right, we then go into a 47 rated angle between Primetime Jack Pride and Gary Walker. Both of them, doing pretty well without scripts. So I think that, we've got some really good workers, especially, entertainment workers, which is primarily what the company is going to be based around once we actually get a TV show. Because we are going to try and treat it as a direct competition to CWA. So, they run a TV schedule as well, and that's what we want to sort of emulate, similar to, I guess, WCW and the WWF back in the day. That's the goal anyway. We then go into their match, which doesn't do as well as their angles, but that's to be expected, getting a 30 match rating. And we do have Primetime Jack Pride defeating Gary Walker in 12:18 by pinfall with a Pride fall. Good to see Jack Pride getting a 30 in-ring performance there. And we also have Gary Walker getting better at his gimmick as well. We then go straight into our proper tag team match, getting a 32 match rating. Again, that's also pretty good. And we have Doomsday Generation defeating the Rock City Stars in 12:23, when Original Sinner pinned Rock and Ryan Turner with a chokeslam. And of course, Original Sinner being the weak link, as we would sort of expect. Also got Stan Manor getting better at his gimmick. I think we probably might push Stan Manor up into the main event, at least while Ryan Turner is away with that tour. Because he is very, very talented. Just needs a little bit of popularity, but that should be a pretty easy workaround. He does have relatively good entertainment stats as well. We then go into a 67 rated angle between Americana Jr. and Aussie Goldstein, the #1 contender. And yeah, both of them, again, doing well without scripts, so I feel like this is going to be a solid little rivalry, at least for the beginning of, Goldstein's sort of career in CWC. And the main event getting us a 59 rating. And we have Aussie Goldstein defeating Americana Jr. in 20 minutes, 5 seconds by pinfall with a golden shower. Best finisher ever. Aussie Goldstein wins the CWC World title. You might think it's early, but I've got a bad feeling in my stomach. I feel like Americana Jr. is going to be pretty close to be leaving us in the very near future. Honestly, I have no idea where he's going to be going, but there's just I have an inkling that he's going to be leaving us. Anyway, let's finish the show here. We get a 55 overall rating for Brutal Vengeance 2, and of course, it does increase our popularity. So we did get the 2 popularity increases this month. Now, obviously, we could potentially have gotten a 3rd, because our ticket prices are gone back. Well, they have gone back to normal. So it's very interesting. Maybe we don't try. There's not really a massive need for us to, I guess, get the maximum popularity every month. Obviously, for progress, to speed things up, it would be a good thing. But at this point, we're well on our way to getting that TV deal. And as soon as we get that, and we can afford to sustain that, the rise in size will be pretty quick. It will be pretty quick. I think we need 35 popularity in Ontario to go up to small. Anyway, who else is upset? I think. Oh, I should always try and remember who's actually upset. Anyway, let's go for Aussie Goldstein, and then let's go for Art Reed. He was pretty impressive in that first match as well. All right, so Sinai is now happy. Hopefully, that'll actually get rid of his morale issues. There was somebody else that was upset though. Was it Kamikaze? I think it might be Kamikaze still. Which wouldn't matter anyway, because he wasn't actually at the show, so yeah. It is indeed both of them, and I'm surprised that he hasn't actually lost that. Maybe we need to do some meddling, because he does actually have a, simmering tension there with Jack Pride. It's worth mentioning that our backstage rating is 100%, even with that tension between the two. And of course, both the morale issue, negative influences, so yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing. Anyway, let's skip forward one day, because I want to actually check out the whole financial situation, see how much money we actually made for that month. But the finances are definitely getting better, which I am really, really enjoying. Alright, so we made over 5,000. I thought it was going to be under. Interesting. That's very interesting, actually. We're up to 13,500 in the bank, which is, very nice. Let's take a quick look at production. How much is it going to cost to upgrade? So, I mean, it's pretty expensive per month. At least for that one. That's a $2,500 per show upgrade. How much is the music? I think we might do music right now, actually. I'm going to go up to generic music. Now, the reason behind that is the longer you leave it at the smallest size, which is small time, as you can see, you use well-known songs, and it is illegal, and you get the risk of being caught and getting fined. Now, if we were to get fined right now, that could really mess the company up. I don't think it would take us under, but that fine would essentially mean we would probably take about 3 months off and just get the sponsor money in to, essentially get back in the black. And of course, the bigger the company becomes, the higher the risk. So we were taking a pretty big risk there anyway with our 20... Are we 21 popularity now? Yeah, we're 21 popularity now. So we were taking a pretty big risk. But that's now sorted out. It's an extra 250 per show. So our profits will be a little bit lower. But at least that's kind of one thing we don't have to worry about too much. I guess the smart thing to do would be to actually look at the broadcasters here and go to WrestleWorld and see what we actually need. So we need semi-pro, hired pro, in-house music, which is actually is it the level above what we have? So broadcast, production, and music. Alright, that's promises. Production. Ooh, so we need to do 2 levels of production value. So that'll get expensive. Broadcast quality. I think, semi-pro is the one we needed for there. And we also need... I think we needed in-house music. Hold on. So I think in-house is actually quite a few levels above. Yeah, okay, that's not great. That is not great at all. That's a couple of levels above in the music department. Yeah, it's 2 more levels. At least the upgrading is free. It's just going to cost a lot per show with all these, production value upgrades. All right, so what I want to do for this month, let's do something weird. I'm going to make this event dormant again. So Coalition Wrestling, going back to dormant. For March, we're only going to run one show. Now, my thought process behind this is, while we're still at, a similar level of popularity to we were, last month, we're essentially only 1 point above. I want to see the financial difference between, the 2 months. And then I'll make a decision on whether we, are to run the one show or we're going to run the 2 shows per month. Because we are getting super close. We're at 21 popularity. We only need 25 to actually get on to WrestleWorld. So probably by next episode, we will have the popularity required. So just need to be careful, really. Just need to be careful. Want to see how much money we can make with the, additional attendance figures that we get in with our normal ticket pricing. It's all very interesting. It's all very interesting. I never really thought that, the financial side of things would be, something that I'm really interested in with this series. I felt like it was going to be more sort of the growth, and obviously I thought when I originally started, I thought the finances would just come along with it with, relative ease. I guess that was kind of my mindset back on 2016. You would very easily be able to make, money once you are essentially from the 3rd month, really. If you were running about 5 shows per month, you would essentially have the popularity required to actually be making money. Maybe not 3 months, maybe more like 5 or 6 months into the game. Because there was no popularity cap per month, you could essentially run, 30 shows and gain all popularity from all 30 shows, if they were good enough to actually increase your popularity in that region. I think it's an interesting thing, the way they've changed it, especially on 2020. I'm kind of thinking in my head, maybe I might, try and share the knowledge with a separate video for people that are, starting their own companies, because obviously there was about 4 episodes there where I really just did not know what the best sort of strategy was. And now I think we've really, I really nailed it when I did a little bit of research on the forums, and then of course through the handbook as well. And we've come out the other side and we're looking really, really good. But I think I might just do maybe like a local to global, almost like a guide, essentially, just to try and help people through, just with, tips and different things that obviously I've learnt through this relatively short period on this series so far. We're 10 episodes in, and we're getting pretty close to the sort of, I guess, the short-term goals that I set. Obviously getting up to tiny, getting financially stable, which I would say we are now, considering we just ran 2 shows and essentially used quite a few workers, because we're running an hour and a half shows at the moment with a 18-man roster, 16-man, whatever it is. And then, of course, we're getting very, very close to sort of the last sort of minor goal, I would say, of the series, which is to get on WrestleWorld. Obviously, if we go a little bit further on from that, there are the other goals of, obviously getting up to small size, obviously medium size. And there's a lot of different other things that come along with those 2 in particular. I would say when we get to small, different broadcasters will be available to us because of our, hopefully because of our popularity across many regions in Canada. Like I said, possibly the US as well, depending on how much popularity we can actually gain by having the internet broadcaster, which I think what WrestleWorld is. I think it's internet subscription broadcaster. I think that's its official title in the game. Anyway, like I said, I'm thinking about doing a video like that. I know that maybe not a lot of people watch either the series or watch every episode of the series. So people might have missed a few things. if I could maybe make like a 20 to 30 minute video, just, going through things. Maybe even, I guess step by step would be the best thing to do. To hire about 6 guys for your initial roster and to just go through everything step by step, running your shows, putting your ticket prices down, not worrying about the finances, but running one show per month with those, ticket prices. And just the popularity that you can obviously gain by doing that as well. Because I feel like, I didn't know it. It took me a while to work it out as well. So I feel like a lot of other people probably wouldn't know it. And there might be people out there that are, struggling, as I was, at the beginning of the series. And maybe some people would give up, they would give up, or they'd have to constantly keep restarting their challenge, trying to work things out. And it could be a bit of a, deterrent for people to play TEW. And of course, TEW is probably one of my favorite games of all time. I've said that many times before. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. Let me know if you guys would be interested in... I mean, a lot of you guys have obviously been watching the series so far, but do you think that would be helpful to a lot of other people for me just to actually make a proper video about it, going through and discussing each of the steps, I guess, or tips that can be implemented into other people's Local to Globals, or even potentially our Road to Glories, because as we all know from my 2016 series, Local to Globals and Road to Glories essentially start the exact same way, apart from obviously having one worker that is your worker, your wrestler. And the only other difference would be the $1,000 that the Road to Glory challenge allows you to have. And I mean, honestly, the $1,000 may as well be zero, because it really doesn't mean anything. It literally just puts you $1,000 ahead of where you need to be in about, a year and a half's time, to not be in debt. So it's interesting. Anyway. Whoa, okay, we've got a lot of emails here. That's interesting. UCW. Ultimate Championship Wrestling. Hardcore company running out of Ontario. Interesting, okay. We've got another Canadian company. I didn't even realize UCW was a thing. Yeah, very, very interesting. They've even got women, which I find pretty cool, because I guess they can actually be building up our women that will eventually take in the future. Yeah, very, very interesting. Lots of tables matches. Our former champion, Topher Smith. Good to see him there with another company. Our other former world champion, Marcel Lafleur, becoming their intercontinental champion. And they got Rock and Ryan Turner as well as Bobby Thomas, which was a guy I wanted to sign. Anyway, that's a pretty good show though, 49. I guess we are still kind of beating them. But Dan DeLay is their booker. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. He does have, pretty good popularity, being a road agent. What's his booking skill? It's actually pretty low. Yeah, it's pretty low. Don't really have to worry about it too much. Coyote Dynamite is their owner. And again, there's nothing to really worry about there either. Okay, so they got a cult hardcore product, which is interesting as well. I'm not too sure if they're going to be too successful, though. They don't really have that much money. What's their popularity? They've already started off on 8 popularity. That might be enough to get them through. I'm not going to give them any money. But it's interesting. I mean, they've essentially signed most of our roster, which is actually a really good thing, because I'm assuming we're going to be ahead of them. Yeah, so they're ranked 37 in the world. I think we're ranked 28 at the moment. So all of our workers here are going to choose to work for us first, which is important, obviously. But they're also going to work for this company as well, which essentially means they're going to get more experience. So Diaz, Pelton, and Sinner, that's kind of a really good thing. Yeah, very, very good thing. Yeah, so Island Boy, isn't he going somewhere? Or is he just announcing that he's going to be leaving? I guess he's just leaving FCW. Interesting. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's get into the next show. We've got Spring Stampede. I'm looking forward to it. I think we go for a title match, a rematch between them. Oh, never mind. We can't. 3 of our workers are not working for us tonight. So it's going to be a cheap show. We're missing Americana, Bowden Snoop, and Kamikaze. Interesting. Let's do some meddling, though. Let's try and get rid of this tension between Primetime Jack Pride. Where is he? Primetime Jack Pride and Original Sinner. There we go. Straight away, first go, meddling success. No negative relationship between the two. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right. So I guess for our main event, I'm not too sure what we actually do, if I'm honest. Let's go for... Kind of want to go Diaz, taking on Goldstein. Actually, let's do a number 1 contenders match between James Diaz and Primetime Jack Pride tonight. I think that'd be a good number 1 contenders match. So I guess what we'll do now is maybe Art Reed. I'm pretty sure they verse each other in the number 1 contenders match. Yeah, so I guess it makes sense, at least for Goldstein to once again get another victory. Kind of proving that he is better than Art Reed. Yeah, with the title on the line. First defense there for Goldstein. Let's then give the Rock City Stars a victory over the team of Robin Newman and... who do I want to put with him? Let's go with maybe Marco Gonzalez. Let's go Charlie Corner. We'll go Charlie Corner. I do like Charlie Corner. Like I said, I kind of wanted to put him in a stable with the Rock City Stars. I think we will do that at some stage. Because Charlie Corner really does have, a lot of upside to him. He's also actually pretty good, even at the moment. 52 psychology, 61 basics, really good brawling, but then everything else, especially his performance skills, they're really quite good. They are really quite good. Anyway, so let's do that number 1 contenders match with Diaz and Jack Pride. And I think we'll give it to Diaz. I think Diaz deserves it. Like I said, he's kind of been a real stalwart for us, as that sort of up-and-coming star, I would say. Whereas Primetime Jack Pride, still lacking a little bit, I would say. Anyway, let's go Young and Wasted, and they can take on Doomsday Generation. And let's give the victory to... Let's give it to Taylor Norton. I think he took the pinfall in the last match he had. So there we go. First time these two teams are meeting each other as well. So I like that. We also need a storytelling match. Make that the storytelling. And then let's do some angles. So let's go Aussie Goldstein. I guess we can throw Art Reed in there, but I don't think we'll rate him. Let me check Art Reed, actually. Does he have entertainment skills? He actually does. I guess we can put him in the angle as well. Maybe not. Maybe I won't, actually. Yeah, let's not do that. But I will advance the storyline there. title challenges. Next we want I guess, Primetime Jack Pride. Get another nice angle in there for him. Prior to his number one contenders match. We'll make this our Work the Crowd. And I think that show's booked. I mean, we could maybe go another angle. Could we fit another angle in? For Rock and Ryan Turner and Stan Manor. Kind of curious. Okay, we actually could. That'll be interesting. I'm not sure if it'll mess the dynamic of the show up, but let's run it anyway. All right. So we start off with a 37 rated tag team match where we have Young and Wasted defeating Doomsday Generation in 12:08 when Taylor Norton pinned Original Sinner with a tumbleweed splash. Once again, Sinner being the weak link, but overall, I think this is not a bad match. I'm pretty happy with that. Especially for an opener, that's not bad. We then go into a 45 rated angle with Primetime Jack Pride. Unfortunately, struggled going off script, but a 45 struggling off script is actually not too bad. So I'm pleasantly surprised with him. We then go into a 43 rated match with James Diaz defeating Primetime Jack Pride, becoming the number one contender for the world title in 11:40 by pinfall with an Asian thumb spike. Should probably just change that finisher. I really don't like it. Just keep him using his powerbomb. Anyway, it's a really good match, and exactly the reason why Diaz is now the number one contender. We then go into a 44 rated angle for the Rock City Stars. Stan Manor doing a masterful job of improvising. Also getting better at his gimmick as well. Lots of positives about Stan at the moment. Of course, Turner going out on tour. I said Stan probably needs to become a main eventer, and hopefully he'll do just that. Their tag match getting a 32, where we have the Rock City Stars defeating Robin Newman and Charlie Corner in 11:55 when Stan Manor pinned Robin with a rock and roller, and Charlie Corner unfortunately off his game. Oh well, moving on to a 53 rated angle with Aussie Goldstein. And he actually struggled going off script as well, but still managed to get a 53, so that's actually pretty decent. And the main event, yeah, it does well enough, really does. 56 rated main event here, and we have Aussie Goldstein defeating Art Reed in 20 minutes 24 seconds by pinfall with a golden shower. Aussie Goldstein making defense number 1 of his newly won CWC world title. And yeah, they have great chemistry, Aussie and Art. So that's actually really beneficial, especially early on for us. I think we did already know that from their first match, but yeah, it's a good thing to keep in mind because we can sort of keep doing this storyline or this rivalry between the two of them. Yeah, Aussie Goldstein with a 57 in-ring performance, really stepping up as the champion. It's a solid match. I'm happy with that. Alright, so we end the show. We get a 51 overall show rating. Of course, increasing our popularity in one region. Let's praise Sinner. Let's praise... Who else do I want to praise, actually? Let's go Brett Kyle and Taylor Norton again. Actually, let's go someone else. Let's go Ryan Turner. He actually outperformed Stan Manor in that tag match. There we go. Alright, I guess the real thing is how much money we made for this month. Because that was kind of the test. I'm not sure if we'll actually go up to 22 popularity. We can check that right now. We actually did. Very strange stuff, man. Very, very strange. We went up to 22 popularity, so we gained another point. by running a show, just one show in this region with normal ticket pricing. Yeah, it's a very weird one. It's a very weird thing to think about. All right, let's have a look. So we made 8,000. So I was kind of correct. I was kind of correct with what I thought might happen. We also have minor morale issues here for Pepper Pelton, so we need to get him on the card as well for our next show. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, do we just stick with the one show for now? Up until we've only got 3 more points of popularity. I don't know, it's such a tough one. I think we'll just stick with it, to be honest. I much prefer to get 8,000. And after another month, we'll essentially be at $30,000. I think is probably a good position to sort of launch ourselves. Now, one thing I do want to do, let's have a look at Sinner, and let's try and get his father. So Primal Rage. Now, I said I wanted Primal Rage to come in and be his manager, essentially. Where is he? Oh. Never mind. I don't think he's actually with anyone, or he shouldn't be. Yeah, currently unemployed. I mean, he's got good menace, but his microphone skill, or his entertainment skills, are just not perfect. Who's his tag team partner? Deadbolt. Let's have a look at Deadbolt. So he still currently works. Yeah, I mean, that's not really going to help us in any way. So let's go back to Primal Rage. I guess the question is, do we get him in? I mean, can we get him in? We can. It's only going to be 30 per show as well. But doesn't have any popularity. Should I get him in? Kind of wanted to maybe look for a woman manager to come in and manage them. Maybe someone like I don't know, actually. Let's actually have a look at this for a second. Let's go into managers. Yeah, we'll try female first of all. To hire as well. Alright, let's just go down really quick. I just want to see if anyone stands out. Now, Devil's Daughter, I guess, could be a decent option. But even her entertainment stats, they're kind of similar to Primal Rage. We could maybe do something else as well. I mean, Katie Cameron's actually pretty good. I might shortlist her just in case we actually need a proper baby face. Currently working for BMCW, so that's interesting as well. I mean, Little Miss Sunshine would have been a really interesting one to get in. She's unfortunately only a baby face, but we could have maybe like changed her picture up a little bit. And Little Miss Sunshine could have like a really dark, twisted, picture and gimmick. I mean, Lucinda Lush, she looks really good as well. As far as a manager, really good entertainment stats. I mean, Raven Nightfall would be the obvious choice, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to afford her. Yeah, for obvious reasons. We are too small, and she is going to cost way too much. I mean, Sweet Tabitha maybe could be another option. And we do a similar sort of thing where we turn her almost gothic. I don't know. Maybe we just stick with Primal Rage. I mean, I feel like it does kind of make sense. Maybe we don't even do that and we just hire somebody else like Aldous Blackfriar if he's still available. I don't think he is actually. I think he was signed to TCW or something. I remember that popping up. Yeah, I remember seeing that. That's unfortunate because he would have been a good pickup. Who else would be decent? Maybe what, Dominic D'Souza? D'Souza? I guess not. He doesn't really have that sort of dark sort of gimmick anymore. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think we won't bring in Primal Rage yet. Let's not do that, and let's just wait because I'm sure something else will pop up. We could even go with maybe Mutant or something like that. Bring in him, and he could really be the I guess the leader of their stable. It would be an interesting. I mean, I do want to do something with them and have like some sort of dark, sinister stable. If you guys have any recommendations, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I do feel like Raven Nightfall would be probably the perfect manager for those two guys. Just unfortunate that she is so popular and going to be so expensive. Because she would also make a pretty good road agent as well. So yeah, I think we'll at least do this next month as well. So we'll do April as a one-show month. Purely for the fact that I want to get over $30,000 in our bank. And I feel like that will be pretty important. Like I said, we're super close. Probably the next episode, I would say. Especially if we start running the 2 shows per month again. I could maybe look at bringing in someone from Japan to possibly be in the stable with Sinner and Lester. That could be interesting as well. Either way, we don't really need to be signing anybody right now. I feel like the 18 members of our roster, maybe when we get TV. But we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Because at the moment, I would want our TV show to be an hour and a half. But it all depends on how much money we're going to be potentially losing from our TV deal. Because five shows per month, we're not going to be able to afford that, realistically. But even still, we might be able to do, another pay rise request from Kamikaze. He thinks he's worth nearly $1,100, and he's asking for an $800 pay rise. Excuse me. I don't know what to do. I mean, we could go 25% again, but he's already on morale issues, so he's probably going to quit if we do that. You know what? I mean, I'm not even against him quitting, so let's go 25. He's angry at the decision. I mean, let's just see what happens. So he's got big morale issues, but we might be able to calm him down a little bit. But like I said, we can't afford to be giving that much money away. And we've got guys like Chip Martin here, for example, who is essentially waiting in the wings to get a contract. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. those pay rise requests, they're going to really hurt us as well. Like we need to keep that in the back of our mind. You know, there's going to come a time when most of our workers, once we do eventually get on WrestleWorld, they're going to be coming after us for those pay rise requests and for big money as well. There's something you got to be careful about, really. I mean, if we gave him what 75% to keep him happy, I don't even know how much that was. It was like $800 or something. I think it was what $200 increase for 25, and it was 400. I guess it was only what? I don't know. How much did we just give him? I don't even know how much we actually gave him. I think it was 200. Actually, now that I think about it, one guy that I really would like to get, which is probably, you know, way out of our realm of possibility at the moment, would be Scythe. Scythe would be a perfect leader for that dark stable that I'm going for. This kind of sucks that, you know, I think who is he with? Is he with, I think he's with SWF. So yeah, that does suck, but anyway, doesn't matter too much, I guess. We'll find somebody that's going to be fitting. Either we'll find somebody or we'll just go with a manager, perhaps, and have a manager run the stable. Sort of like a dark ministry, which I guess could be the name of the stable as well. Dark Ministry. Ministry of Darkness. I don't know. Something like that. Simple, effective, and obviously gets the point across pretty well. Trying to think of other good stables that we could potentially make. I mean, I wouldn't mind having like a legacy stable with maybe, you know, the sons of, I mean, it can be sons and daughters of, you know, former wrestlers, so like second or third generation stars in the game. I mean, we already have James Diaz. Obviously, we have Original Sinner as well, but he's not going to be a part of that type of stable. Who else do we have? Is there someone else? I feel like I mean, the guy we just looked at, I think, is a second generation. I mean, guys like Matty Faith or Bret Heartbreak would be incredible to bring in. What is Bret Heartbreak doing, actually? That's another interesting question, because Bret Heartbreak was always amazing, or at least had the potential to be amazing back on 2016. So maybe I'll look for Bret Heartbreak. Is EWA still around? I think it is over in Europe. So I would assume that he's working there with his father, Byron. We might suss that out in a second here. Let's try and do it now, actually. You gotta love that. Gotta love it. Super annoying. There we go. Alright, so GSW offering Fro a contract. Now, I definitely want to get Fro in at some stage, but again, at the moment, it's probably just going to be too expensive. As you can see, 1,100 per show. We just can't afford that. We just can't afford it. There are still some other options out there that we could get. I mean, this guy actually looks pretty good. US Ace. We might get him in to replace Americana once he leaves. Call him, we could rename him Americana 2. I don't know. It's kind of a petty thing to do, but anyway. So what was I doing? Bret Heartbreak. Yeah, so he's with EWA, like I thought. He's the current Intercontinental Champion over at EWA. Still got the really good star quality. He doesn't look as good as I kind of thought he would be at 22. I mean, physical's really good. I mean, he is good. He is good, don't get me wrong. He's probably better than most of our roster. I mean, he could be a decent option. I guess we would probably try and go for him once we, are getting close to medium. So we could get him on a, an exclusive written contract. Anyway. Alright, 2 days. Let's get into this event. It's probably going to be the last show of the episode. Again, a lot of processing, but like I said, that's probably going to start to come to an end here, depending on what happens with Wrestle World. Don't know how many times I've said Wrestle World throughout these episodes. Would have to be up near the 50s, I would say. But like I said, it is a massive... Oh no, I'm going into it again. It is a massive, massive part of what we are, of what we have to do, essentially. All right. Let's get into this. Part of me wants to... Oh, don't tell me... Come on, man. Kamikaze again? He's not even going to be here, so I can't even fix his morale issues. Anyway, we got Charlie Corner in fine form. Keeping everyone in a great mood, which is perfect. We're expecting over 200 paying fans, which is very decent. As far as our main event, I think we want to maybe go with a tag team match. And let's have Goldstein and Art Reed team up to take on Diaz and Primetime Jack Pride, maybe? I kind of like that match. It's like the competitors teaming up to essentially face each other. Let's give Art Reed the victory. Let's make the loser Diaz. But I guess the story behind the match would be that Primetime Jack Pride essentially cost Diaz the match. I feel like that's a good way of actually putting it. Up next, we'll just book some random matches, people we haven't used recently. So let's go Zippy Deverell and Marco Gonzalez. A nice 12-minute... Actually, we can make this a tag match as well. Let's make that a tag match. And let's put Gary Walker and Zippy together. If you have a team name for Gary Walker and Zippy Deverell, preferably something to do with maybe entertainment. I don't know, it doesn't... Just come up with a name. If you guys have any sort of names for them, that'd be great. I might put them together as a team and just call them Walker and Deverell. Or Gary and Zippy or something like that for now. But I do want your suggestions. I guess they can take on the team of Charlie Corner and Pepper Pelton. And I think we'll give Zippy the victory. I think that's fine. So there we go. Let's make Robinson the road agent there as well. We need some singles matches, so let's go with Gonzalez and maybe Robin Newman. Give Gonzalez a victory here. Gonzalez is kind of like the forgotten man. I don't really talk about him too much, but I do kind of like him. 20 years old. Actually looks pretty good, like pretty solid. Yeah, it's just a weird one. He just kind of flies under the radar a bit. Let's also make this our storytelling match. There we go. And finally, we'll go one more singles match. Let's go with Lester and Stan Manor. And I think we'll go Stan Manor to get the victory there as well. All right, there we go. Actually, let's work the crowd with that one. Actually, let's not. I want to test something out. And also I want to get somebody else on the show. I want to get Original Sinner on there. So I guess for the main event, let's go with Aussie Goldstein and Art Reed. They can be together. So we'll give that 8 minutes. I can also advance the storyline as well. So we'll book that in there. That's going to be pre-main event. Messed everything up just then. Yeah, literally messed everything up. Perfect. That one needs to go up there, and then we go down. Okay. There. Wait, what? Yes. I guess that's how I want it. Yeah. Anyway. So let's go an entertainment angle for Gary Walker and Zippy Deverell. We don't need to script them. They should be fine, I would imagine. I don't think they're in a storyline together, so that's fine as well. That can go there. And then finally, I want to open with a... Let's go with Wicked Lester and Original Sinner. And I want to go entertainment for Lester and then Menace there for Sinner. I'm just really curious to see how this actually turns out. And are they in the tag team storyline? They are not. So let's put them in there. So Sinner. And then add in Lester. I guess in theory we may as well add in... where is he? Gary Walker and Zippy Deverell as well. Get all them involved in the storyline. Let's also actually create that tag team that I said. So Gary, Zippy, auto name, Gary and Zippy, I guess, for now. Like I said, if you got a suggestion, please feel free to let me know. Actually, I kind of have an interesting name. It's after a song, a Gorillaz song, Feel Good Inc. I feel like that actually works pretty well. Obviously, there's a monkey there, so Gorillaz, you know, Feel Good. So Feel Good Inc. I like that. There we go. I've got another tag team name. Apologies if you did leave a suggestion. I'm sure I'll read them. But yeah. Alright, apparently Zippy's being used far too much on the show. Bit of a problem. Bit of a problem. I think if we turn this down to 16 total minutes for them, that should be fine. No, still being used too much. Okay. Guess we're going 8 minutes now. Okay, there we go. Slightly being overused. Perfect. Everything else is good, though. So let's run the last show of the episode. We start the show off with a 27 rated angle with Doomsday Generation. Interesting. Both are not rated on Menace this time. So we've got Lester on Entertainment, Sinner on Menace. We then go into a 40 rated match for Stan Manor defeating Wicked Lester in 12:26 by pinfall with a rock and roller. That's a pretty good match. I'm happy with that. Lester is actually somewhat talented. And a good 44 in-ring performance there from Stan. We then go into a 46 rated entertainment angle for Feel Good Inc. Of course, Gary Walker, Zippy Deverell. And Zippy did a masterful job of improvising interactions. Their tag team match doesn't do too great, getting a 31, but that's still okay. Still okay. And we do have Feel Good Inc. defeating Charlie Corner and Pepper Pelton in 8:01 when Zippy Deverell pinned Charlie Corner with a spinning bulldog. Okay, it's an interesting match. Interesting finisher there as well. Spinning bulldog. We also had Pepper Pelton really off his game, so didn't exactly help the match rating. We then go into a 27 rated match where we have Marco Gonzalez defeating Robin Newman in 12-15 by pinfall with a DDT. And yeah, apparently Marco and Robin don't seem to click, made for an awkward bout. Good to know, though, for the future. We then go into a 55 rated angle for tag team partners tonight. But obviously, I guess a blooming rivalry between the two has officially begun, with Goldstein beating Reed in that #1 contenders match. And then, of course, getting his first title defense against him on the last show. So Reed struggled going off script, but Goldstein did a masterful job improvising interactions with the crowd. Also, Aussie is getting better at his gimmick. Perfect. And the main event gets us a 52. It's pretty respectable. And that's actually hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Anyway, Art Reed and Aussie Goldstein defeating James Diaz and Primetime Jack Pride in our main event in 20 minutes 10 seconds when Art Reed submitted James Diaz with a dreadlock. Goldstein carrying the match as well. But as you can see down here, Art Reed and Aussie Goldstein showed excellent chemistry teaming together, and James Diaz and Primetime Jack Pride showed excellent chemistry teaming together as well. So, it's taken us this long to find any chemistry, and we literally put rivals against each other in a main event, and we find two excellent chemistry between both of them. Very, very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. I actually have a good name for these two. I think Golden Dread would be pretty cool. And I don't know about these two. Diaz and Jack Pride just don't really seem like they would be a team together. I don't know what it is, but they're going to be a team anyway. There we go. That's a pretty hilarious thing to actually finish the episode off with. Anyway, let's finish the show. A little bit lower than our recent shows, but that's perfectly fine. The main event, obviously, having two younger stars in there. We do get a 48, again increasing our popularity in the one region. Wanted to get Sinner on there again. Pepper Pelton needs to be in there as well, because he's got morale issues. And apart from that, we might go with... Let's go with Gary Walker. He did pretty well for his angle. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, what a weird main event. Two excellent chemistries for tag teams. And they're like weird, very weird teams. Oh, and Americana Jr. has been injured. A torn quad. All I've got to say is thank God I took that title off him. Because that could have been a real big problem. I guess he won't be going anywhere. Alright, so Pepper Pelton apparently thinks Zippy Deverell is money, and we should strap a rocket to him. Okay, interesting. And the Americana injury. That is not good. Anyway, have a look at the size. We are still 22, which is perfectly fine. Because like I said, we probably need to be running at least two shows per month to get the increase in popularity. Anyway, let's advance one day and again have a look at the profitability for the month of April. And then we can also check out that injury to Americana. Anyway, I mean, in a way it's good, but it's also kind of bad at the same time. Alright, so we made about another $8,000. Interesting. I mean, it's about the same. We made maybe an extra like $300 or so. But basically the same expenses there as well. We also got rid of the original Sinner morale issues as well, and the other morale issues for Pepper Pelton. That's perfect. We're gonna need to get another wrestler in next episode because Ryan Turner is leaving for tour, and then of course we have this injury here. for Americana Jr. Torn quad. Interesting. We could do surgery. Let's do surgery. Let's do it. All right, surgical success. Should now be back in action much sooner than first thought, and surgeons are confident that any damage the injury created has been reduced dramatically. There we go. We've essentially shaved 3 months off by giving him surgery, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of the episode. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you haven't already, and of course, subscribe to the channel as well. Turn on the notification bells because it will help you guys out, and you'll get notified when one of these episodes is released. And apart from that, guys, as always, take it easy and goodbye.